to Stranger Still Podcast. I'm Kathleen.
And I'm Miles.
And we are glad to be back to cover some exciting new Stranger Things news. The first look into season 5. We've been kind of hibernating for 2024, but we will be checking in periodically to cover major news hits like releases just like this. So stay tuned.
You know we'll be back on Stranger Things Day.
Oh, of course. We are absolutely back then.
Just to rip the Band-Aid off right now, if you're here for spoilers, you're in the wrong place.
Yes, we are not that kind of podcast. We are well-behaved school children of Stranger Things. We're only consuming what the Duffer Brothers want us to consume until we're ready for season 5.
But certainly recognizing that there are probably many people listening to a Stranger Things podcast 2 years after Volume 4, a full year before Season 5. You may want a little bit more mischief, more sleuthing, more dissecting.
I do recognize we are kind of the minority there.
Yeah, we're like, teacher, the Duffers didn't show us that. We shouldn't know this yet. But there's some other great podcasts out there. The Ham Radio podcast, of course, friends of the pod. They're doing shows about filming updates and script breakdowns, and the Star Court Food Court, which is a fan page on Twitter or X. I still call it Twitter. But they
can't help it.
They have a podcast, the Upside Down podcast. Of course, our friends over there, they have a whole show breaking down the play, the first Shadow play.
There's a lot of fantastic people that we really like to listen to, but we're also trying not to get any spoilers.
Yeah, we just, I want to just experience it as new as possible when it happens.
Yeah.
But that's our jam. So stay tuned.
But it's never a bad time for a rewatch. Make sure to check out some of our previous podcasts. I always think as we're coming into we're still in summer, I know, but as we're coming into the fall season, it's a great time to rewatch Stranger Things. We have some awesome podcasts. We did an original rewatch in 2022 where we covered every episode of the previous 4 seasons. We also did a character by character rewatch as well
in 2023. So we followed the journey of 11 of the main characters from season 1 to 4, and we just kind of started over. We did Lucas, we did Joyce, we did 11, we did Max.
Yeah, that was really fun.
I really liked doing that. So never a bad time to rewatch the series. Pop us on. We'll enjoy it with you.
Bone up for some anticipated season 5.
Yeah, and I remember when we first created this podcast, it's specifically titled a rewatch podcast.
That's what we're here for, man.
We're just not, we're not like reviewers. We're just so non-professional. It's ridiculous.
What are you talking about? I'm so professional all the time. So what are we doing today? We're catching up on some news.
Catching up on the news. We haven't been here all of 2024. Once that first look dropped on July 15th, we thought we got to get a show going here. It was a big behind-the-scenes sort of creation that was released by the Duffer Brothers and Netflix. It was
the biggest thing we've had basically so far, waiting for season 5.
They turned the Empire State Building the colors of the Upside Down to reflect that the first look was released.
Oh, I did not know that.
Just a taste of how huge season 5
no
is going
spoilers over here. I didn't
be.
even know that part.
Kathleen didn't even, to be fair, we don't live in New York, so we don't.
That's true.
Don't see a lot of the Empire State Building. But we're going to catch up on some news, talk about that first look, and then we've heard your calls for candle reviews. 4 exclusive candles released by Bed Bath & Beyond. We will tell you what we think, recommend the best candle to buy.
Bath & Body Works, right?
Oh, did I get that wrong?
Not Bed Bath & Beyond, which I believe is going out of business, but Bath and Body Works, which are still going strong, and we've got some really cool scents I'm super excited to cover. We have not smelled them yet, so you will kind of get our first look here, our first sniff, as you would.
Very good. I'm glad that we're not being sponsored by Bath and Body Works because they would be pretty pissed if they knew that I accidentally introduced their candles as Bed Bath & Beyond. I have a whole Bed Bath & Beyond joke planned for the candle corner, but I guess that's not going to happen, so I'm just going to say it now. We're not being sponsored by Bed Bath & Beyond. Bed Bath & Beyond. Beds for the bugs, baths for the babies, and beyond for the great unknown.
And again, pretty sure they are going out of business. We're working for Bath and Body Works.
They should have taken up a sponsorship on the Stranger Still podcast. Okay.
Am I right?
Thank you for correcting me on that. And people might want to buy these candles. I don't know.
I mean, they're super cool. They look really cool. Go to the Bath and Body Works website and you can check out kind of what they look like. They are very, very like aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah. I posted a picture on our Twitter at Stranger Still 22. I posted a picture. I can't do that. I just can't call it X. Okay, so filming is halfway done for Stranger Things 5. As of around the 4th of July. They have said the show is coming out in 2025. All speculation points to multiple volumes. Partly because this is what Netflix is doing now. So with the Cobra Kai, Bridgerton was in 2 volumes.
It was.
The final season of The Crown was in 2 volumes. The previous season of Stranger Things was in 2 volumes. Do you want this? Do you want...
I mean, there is the impatient me that says, give it to us all at once. I want to consume this as quickly as possible. But then there's the practical me that realizes, such as with Bridgerton, which I totally binged. I love Bridgerton.
I haven't seen it.
It's actually really nice to have a break like halfway to just kind of recalibrate after watching that. And it sounds like Stranger Things, it's going to be super intense. Just like season 4, every episode was kind of like its own movie. Yeah. So having a gap in between might be really good to help us really digest what we've watched. So I'm not against it, but I would also love it all to come out at once.
Yeah. I want it to come out all in one pile. The way that we experienced season 1, hashtag one big movie. I want that for the nostalgia of it, for what that was like, to just a weekend where it's just like you watch the beginning on Friday night and you watch the end on Sunday morning. But like you said, season 4, it's a lot bigger than that. Season 1 was like 7 hours. Season 4 was like 11 hours. Yeah. So maybe 11. If it's 11 hours, maybe if it is similar to season 4, I could kind of get behind it. Like a huge volume 1 with a volume 2 that's really just the finale and the penultimate episode. Like I could get behind that. I could do the same thing again.
But it does, I think, need to only be a few weeks later. Like if this is,
don't make it too
I
long.
hope they don't let it out episode by episode. I would just be so upset.
I don't think they're gonna do that.
I mean, just a couple weeks in between, just like Bridgerton. I thought that worked out really well.
How far apart were the Bridgerton parts?
Oh gosh, if anybody out there watched Bridgerton and they know exactly how far, please don't get mad at me if I get this wrong. But I think it was just a couple weeks. Okay, really.
Okay, so it wasn't like half a year.
No. It was really quick, but it was like in 1 month and then in another month.
Okay, yeah, which is a Netflix strategy to keep subscribers 2 different payments there. So the money's behind it. It's going to happen.
We see what you're doing, Netflix.
Some other news. This was in February, March, but the actor who plays Dustin, Gaten Matarazzo, he says the characters should die for stakes. And this has been a nearly constant source of conversation, really going into season 4 and now going into season 5. Who's going to die? Why haven't enough characters die? And so on. Should main characters die in season 5? And if so, who, Kathleen?
Okay. If you have listened to our previous podcast, you know exactly how I feel about this. I don't want a single person to die. I want them all to make it. I want that like happy ending. That's also part of what I really like about Stranger Things, especially the first season. When you watch it, it's almost as if you could just watch the first season and you've got a complete show there.
I'd argue you could.
It ends relatively positive. Obviously, there's still mystery. So if somebody dies, I don't think that you could feel good about the end. We love these characters too much.
I completely agree. We have talked about this a lot. first of all, it's too late. Like, all respect to Gaten, who is obviously a very smart guy, but if Mike or Dustin did die in the first episode of season 5, everybody's not going to be like, oh, wow, the show really has stakes now. Everyone's going to be like, wait, someone dies here, but not all the other times. Like season 11 just comes back from the season 1 finale. Hopper comes back from the season 3 finale. I'm sure Max is just going to be back from the season 4 finale. I
don't know. Is she?
Yeah.
Do you think she's just going to be back and fine?
Hopper just jumped over a railing and he was fine.
And also, if you've listened to our previous podcast, you know that Miles is a little bitter about that.
Everyone else was vaporized. But they just didn't implement the railing.
That's another podcast. Go back.
Just to spoil that podcast slightly, I did say we're eating our vegetables so that we get to keep all these wonderful characters.
That's right.
That's what I want. That's what I want. I want the characters here. You really want a show like Game of Thrones where we get to the end and we've got a bunch of people we don't even know sitting in a circle crowning a character who's gone for a whole season as the best story. Like, no, we want all of these people here. It's so easy to say, like, we want Steve and Dustin to have died, just offhand when they haven't.
It's not easy to say.
But no, it's easy to think about it and get on your high horse and say that they should have died while they haven't, because they're going to be in season 5. Mm-hmm. Plus, plot armor is like a critique of Stranger Things. One of my biggest pet peeves. Plot armor is not just the fact that main characters survive. It's like, think about it this way, like Lord of the Rings, Frodo and Sam.
Yeah.
If they died, then we shouldn't have started the story there. Right? So we know that these characters save the day. That's why we started the story with Mike and Nancy and the party. So it's a storytelling thing. If we had started the story with like one of the families that got flayed and became part of the, the meat monster in the Starcourt food court, it would be over. And you'd be wondering, why did we start with them? We'd be introducing Nancy and 11 at this point, wondering what happened to the meat monster.
So long story short, nobody should die.
Yeah. Okay. This first look came pretty cool. It was
really cool.
It was just fun to hear the voices, hear Mike talk about the core 4, hear Millie Bobby Brown say she was 10 when she started filming and now she's 20.
Oh my gosh. That was really cool. It just like, I don't know. It seems like just a couple of years ago, we watched the first season. I remember exactly where we were, exactly how blown away we were when we watched it. And that was 10 years ago now? Oh my goodness.
8 years ago. My God.
Oh, that it was released.
So she was filming it before we did that. But yeah.
Yeah, but crazy.
That is 8. What we did second weekend that it was out. 2016. So we were early watchers.
This looks like it might be good.
I forget what had happened. I had heard from someone it was good. I heard from like a different podcast or something that it was good, and I checked it out. I think the biggest takeaway across the interwebs about the first look is that you get a shot of Hawkins High looking fine.
Yeah. So
what do you think about that?
That tells me that time has passed, which thank goodness, because we've been waiting so long for season 5. All of our characters are just getting older. Well, all of our actors are getting older and older. There had to be some sort of time jump. So I hope that is an indicator that they are older. Looking at them, they seem like they are played as high schoolers for sure. Hopefully seniors. That is my hope.
They're freshmen in season 4, so they could be seniors. Yeah, and that's 3 years later. That's a good difference. Of course,
and life seems normal, like just by those quick snapshots.
Well, like I said, yes, season 4 ended with a crack in Hawkins and billowing smoke and theoretically creatures able to come out and everything like that, but they ain't gonna do jack shit. All the military needs is one flamethrower, and they're fine because Murray got the demo bats off of Eddie from Russia with a flamethrower. The hive mind is a real problem for the Upside Down, and that I think that's going to be what season 5 is about too. It's about the Upside Down getting better than being able to be beaten by a single flamethrower.
Oh, so like they've been possibly controlling it over the last couple years, and life has gotten normal, but Vecna's behind the scenes.
Yeah, because they're definitely, if you set up an apparatus around the town, and it's going to be a weird town. It's going to be an Area 51 type of town. It already is, right?
Yeah.
But if you're just flamethrowing every once in a while, you should be fine, as long as you don't, do what the lab did.
What's Ted's story in this situation?
Ted is probably on the side that it's like not, they're just trying to scare you. Like it's just a military experiment.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to see, because the town being suspicious, the town being angry, it was a huge part of season 4, and you got to believe that's going to be a big part of season 5.
Yeah, it's got to be.
The other big thing in the first look, Linda Hamilton.
Oh, man.
We knew that she was cast. Sarah Connor in Terminator. It also feels like another thing that's maybe a little closer to the 90s, because although
progressing,
Terminator was like 84, but Terminator 2 is all anyone remembers. That was 1990.
Okay. And so you're saying that that's maybe another indicator that we've made a time jump, that
without any basis whatsoever. Yes, I'm saying that.
This is all speculation. Don't judge us too hard if we get to season 5 and we're like completely wrong. But I am super pumped about Linda Hamilton. She was like an integral part of like our childhood movies.
Yes.
So this will be really exciting.
And she could provide some sort of clue to the plot, because, Robert Englund was in season 4. He was kind of the big 80s actor who came to season 4.
Oh, right.
Of course, he's Freddy Krueger from Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
That was kind of relevant.
Yeah.
Freddy Krueger, of course, being, a demon, whatever, that goes into kids' dreams and stuff like that. That kind of happened in season 4 as Vecna did that.
So she could be like bringing that Terminator element, that she's like this badass woman that's coming to kick some butt.
She could be. Or she could be like
Terminator,
a warped version of her character in the Terminator, where she's like, at first she's like the crazy person. Right. Who's like, you don't understand. Skynet has taken over and blah, 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 blah. She could be like Ted. I'm glad you brought up Ted. Ted sees all the warehouses and all the flamethrowing that's going on in the huge bubble that they put over the big cracks. The whole town is a military base, and he's like, that's nothing. And she's the crazy person who's like, no, you don't understand. He's coming back. Vecna is coming back. Though she wouldn't call him Vecna, of course. She wouldn't know about that.
Yeah.
Let's leave it to the Duffers to write.
I'm just, my brain is just kind of processing what is this going to be like.
We saw some other new cast in there. We saw, little nerd boy, little Sandlot
with Erica.
Yeah. I'm glad that first of all, I'm excited that means Erica's maybe getting her own plot here instead of being a tag along.
Because she's so good. She's such a good character. Yeah. So I would be really excited to see more development on her end.
Yeah. That's another reason why we need a time jump. I don't think she can play a 12-year-old anymore. We got to bump her up to high school at this point. Then we saw an older Holly.
Yeah, so that is confirmed that wasn't. I mean, it certainly seems like an older Holly.
I have absolutely no idea if it's confirmed, but it's a little girl with blonde hair looking at Christmas lights flickering, which of course is one of the big moments of the first trailer. Right. It's got to be her.
And she is older. Yeah, and so again, time jump. Mm-hmm. It's got to be a time jump.
Yeah, why not go for it to 1989?
Ayo, that's the year I was born. I'm dating myself here. But yeah, so I am really hopeful that we're having a time jump, that hopefully we are seeing them in senior year. I think that would it would be perfect, because senior year, it's your final year of high school, that you're ending your school life and you're moving on into adulthood. So seeing that we're finishing season 5, the final season, we're moving on from here. Yeah. So it's like an ending. It's a perfect ending.
If the Duffers are listening and you're not doing that, rewrite. Start it over. No, and one thing I love is I feel so confident about season 5 because although we've had these multiple production snafus, season 4 got paused for a little thing called COVID. And season 5,
not just that little thing.
Season 5 got paused for the strikes.
Oh yeah.
But it feels like they had so much time that you don't normally get in a television production to figure out their overall story. And they definitely knew where it was going from the very beginning of season 4. They knew the very end of season 5.
Yeah.
And I think that makes me feel good. The first look was very confident, very deliberate. Like we're setting up for something really cool. I know it. I feel it in my bones.
Yeah, I do too. And they just they gave the teeniest, tiniest little snippets as we went along too, just to the tantalizing taste of season 5, which I really liked. I mean, you've got Vecna. You see a little quick shot of Vecna. What else do we see? We see the 4 together, the party together, which is cool. Yeah, yay!
They're back season together. 3, season 4, those 4 guys have not been together.
No, until the very end. So we really we go through the whole seasons without having them united. Yeah. So that's a hopeful moment there. We do see we have a short snippet of Will falling out of an upside down type tree. Yep. So don't know what's going on there.
This season's going to be all Will.
11 doing her 11 things. You know what? I think that too. And we've mentioned that in previous podcast episodes as well. We did it in the character by character ones.
Check out our Will episode. That was our best episode.
Yeah.
Because it has so much meat on the bone. Mike, 11, Hopper, Joyce, they kind of got their emotional endings in season 4, whereas Will, he has got a long way to go. Him and Lucas and Max and Nancy, they have a lot of story to tell, and season 5 is going to be them, I think.
And what a cool contrast too. You start off in season 1 as Will is the subject matter, but he's hardly in the season, to him being an integral part of season 5. I think that would just be exciting.
Really cool. And justice for Will. He doesn't have a lot to do some of the seasons. So totally agree.
I think he's gonna kick some ass.
Hell yeah. It's gonna be a great performance too, I think.
All right, so I hope you all are just as excited as we are for season 5.
Oh, all right, enough of that. Let's get to our
sniff some candles.
Our true passion, which is sniffing candles. All right, Kathleen, why don't you introduce them? So we have 4 candles from what is it?
Bath and Body Works.
Bath and Body Works.
Not to be confused with Bed Bath and Beyond. So we have 4 really cool kind of retro style candles. Check out our Twitter, our X, to see a picture.
Stranger Still 22.
There is a blue Scoops Ahoy ice cream parlor Ocean of Flavors.
Yes.
There is a Stranger Things. Argyle's Pineapple Pizza. That is going to be an interesting smell. I have no idea what to expect. Is it going to be pineapple heavy? What's it going to smell? Is it going to smell like pizza?
Yep.
We have our Hopper's Coffee, and it's got a, let's see if okay. I thought it was going to have a really exciting catchphrase on there, but...
Coffee and contemplation.
It does on the back.
Nice.
Coffee and contemplation. Maybe I should be checking out the back of these. And then we have, of course, 11's Waffles. Friends Don't Lie. That's what the back says. So really excited to smell these. Do you have a preference?
Well, which one to start with?
Yeah.
No, let's start with one of them, and then we each have to give our best and our worst.
Okay.
Okay, so let's start with one. We'll talk through it. We'll give some review.
So I think let's just start with Scoops Ahoy.
Okay.
Ice Cream Parlor Ocean of Flavors.
This is great podcast content. We will post these smells online.
All right, let's see. Okay. Smells vanilla-y, I would say.
I'm not really getting a lot of cream here. I would say very vanilla. Very, very vanilla.
I definitely get that ice cream smell here. I'll pass that back over here. Gotta get another. Yeah, It smells like vanilla ice cream to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is
Pretty
great.
much the same. Okay,
This is going really well.
So vanilla ice cream, Scoops ahoy.
No wonder there are not too many candle podcasts.
Okay, we're crushing it here.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to Argyle's Pineapple Pizza. This one, I don't even know what to expect. I'm assuming it's just going to smell like pineapples, but Surfer Boy Pizza, try before you deny.
Can they get any pizza in there? Will be very interesting.
Oh, that's not at all what I was expecting.
Okay, what is it?
Okay, so I smell a little pineapple. Let me pass this to you. I feel like they did try to get a hint of cheese in there.
There is a hint of cheese.
Yeah, that's not anything that you would expect from a candle. I really honestly was thinking, how could they possibly get a pizza smell in here? But I think I do get like just a hint of like melty cheese with crust.
Yeah, a subtle pineapple, which is I'm happy about. I didn't want it to just be a pineapple candle.
That would just be too easy.
The fruits are too easy. You're absolutely right.
Okay, so we've done Steve's Scoops. We've done the Surfer Boy Pizza. Now for Coffee and Contemplation, Hopper's Coffee. This one, I'm assuming it's going to be the classic coffee, but who knows? Okay. All right, I don't want to say anything until you smell it.
Okay. Oh, yeah, it's not very Starbucks coffee. Like this is like black coffee.
Yeah,
this is like
it smells like you've brewed your own coffee at home.
It smells like the bottom of a pot, like slightly burning.
Yes,
yeah, I like that.
Like perfect Hopper's.
Yeah, that's right.
Candle scent.
If you're gonna put Hopper's name on it, we don't want any of that macadamia nut, like tinges and flavors.
Yeah, it does not smell, I almost said taste, like they've added cream. It's very interesting. Okay. I'm trying not to give away too much what my favorite is, but I'm a little expressive here, so I think you're getting a pretty good indication. All right, so let's move on to 11's Waffles. Friends don't lie.
Don't lie about what you think about this candle.
Okay, that smells more like a classic, like what you would think breakfast time candles. I smell the syrup. I smell the butter.
Mm-hmm. Very syrupy.
Yes, I
then
definitely.
Then again, 11 probably would cover that thing in syrup.
I don't know. We see her eating a lot of Egos. She's a
12-year-old girl. Oh yeah, she doesn't really. If she could, if she had unlimited syrup, she's gonna do that.
But anyway, I smell the butter pretty heavily.
Yeah, the butter is in there. That's very interesting.
I have to say, this one is very strong.
Yeah,
very strong.
I know. This one's like giving me a bit of a rush. Like I feel lightheaded.
We're getting a rush, taking hits of candles.
All right. What's your favorite? What's your least favorite?
Very entertaining testing of the
candles. Single
candles.
person has turned this podcast off. They're just riveted.
If you have stuck with us, get ready for our favorite.
Let us know. We will send you one of these candles.
Yes, we will. And you know what? I think you might like one of them.
Yeah. Okay, what's your least favorite?
My least favorite, it's the 11 Waffles. Honestly, if you like that scent, that morning kind of syrupy maple, very sugary scent, I think you'd like this. It's just so strong. It's very overwhelming. If it was more subtle, I think I would like it a lot more, but it's just, boy, it really gets you.
My least favorite is Steve's
Really?
Ice cream. It's just, although you pointed out to me, there is a little bit more cream in there, but vanilla
just smells like a vanilla
sweet.
candle to you?
I don't know. It's too sweet for ice cream, in my opinion.
Okay.
If it's ice cream, it's like this real like soft serve, the real cheap soft serve. No, I want a little bit more dairy in there, you know.
Give me more dairy.
And I don't know
more cream with your ice.
I don't know how the good folks at what is it?
It's Bath and Body Works.
I don't know how the good folks at Bath and Body Works are going to do that, but
You know what? I actually like this one. It's not my favorite.
Okay, what is your favorite?
My favorite is, I think, the Hopper's coffee one.
Whoa!
I do love coffee scented candles, but they're usually just kind of boring. They all smell pretty much the same.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that this smells just like a freshly brewed, maybe a couple hours after it's been brewed coffee, but
what is his secretary's name?
Seriously comforting about it, like a cup of coffee that started to go cold, but it's just still good and it's gonna get you through the day. That's what this candle reminds me of. I'm a huge fan. I would definitely burn this. Highly recommend.
And my favorite is Argyle's Surfer Boy Pizza.
Really?
I've never smelled a candle like this.
I don't think I have either.
Pineapple and subtle hints of cheese and
How
crust.
did they do that? That's what I want to know.
It certainly does not smell like Hawaiian pizza. That's for sure.
No.
It smells like I don't know, cheese with it's like you're expecting a pineapple candle, but there is pizza firmly in it. I've just never smelled anything like this before. That's fascinating to me.
Maybe like a pizza shop that has closed for the evening and they're then having a birthday party in which they've baked some fresh pineapple cookies.
The good folks at Bath and Body Works couldn't have said it any better.
Okay, if I had to rank them, I would say Hopper's Coffee and Contemplation. Mm-hmm. I really kind of like the Steve Scoops. It's pretty basic, I think there's a lot of candles that smell pretty similar.
Yeah.
But it's solid. It smells good. I really like it. Then I would take the pineapple pizza one. It's just really unique. I really like that. And then of course the Friends Don't Lie, Levin's waffles. Yeah. It's just too strong.
And I would go Argyle's Pizza, Hopper's Coffee, 11's Waffles, and Steve's Ice Cream. So it seems like Hopper's Coffee gets the most points out of our two rankings. It's so good.
Especially if you love coffee scented candles.
So in 2025, we're planning a full candle podcast.
We're going to be reviewing 15 candles and we're going to quietly smell them all while you're forced to listen, and you will be penalized if you turn off the podcast.
You will be penalized. I know. We will tell the teacher on you. Oh
so if you have stuck with us throughout this podcast and you've listened to our agonizing smelling of the candles, thank you.
Yes, thank you. Go back and listen to our other shows.
And leave us a comment. Maybe you'll get a candle.
Yeah, maybe. Go back and listen to all our other shows. We go through season 1 through 4, episode by episode. We do character by character, and there is no talk of candles.
I have to say, this is the first talk of candles we've had in all of our podcasts.
Just assuring the people.
Yeah, no candles until today.
All right, well, we will definitely be back at least Stranger Things Day, perhaps sooner if something crazy happens. My name is Miles.
I'm Kathleen.
A good night.